Good morning and welcome to Thame Service Station on this very sunny Friday morning. So my name's Dani and I hand over all of the sold cars, and lots of customers often complain of having a bad back or sore neck whilst driving, and quite often that is actually due to the driving position in the car. So today I'm here with resident fitness expert George Anderson, who is going to give you a few hints and tips on how to ensure that your driving position is as comfortable as possible. So George, let's start with what can we do to the seat to make it as comfortable as we can?
Well, first of all, Dani, most people, I think, get into a car and will adjust the forward and backwards position, especially if they've got a couple of people who drive the vehicle, husband and wife, partners, and they'll have different leg lengths and so on. So that's kind of the most obvious one, just to get that forward and backward position. If you are just going on a quick trip to the supermarket or dropping the kids off at school, it's probably not that necessary to do all the setups that we're going to do now, but I would say if you're going to be driving for any more than 20 or 30 minutes, and especially if you do find you suffer from back issues, then it's definitely worthwhile going through a couple of the additional ones. So yeah, we'll start off with the forward and backward position. You kind of want to have it back so it's far back enough that when you've got your feet on the clutch pedal, that when you push down, you're not having to really reach down. So right now, that's probably a little bit too far back for me, because that's going to twist my pelvis as I depress it. So I'm just going to pull that forwards a tiny little bit. So now when I push, I can actually get that full without having to twist off.
Yeah, that looks better, definitely.
So yeah, that's the sort of position you want to be. You just don't want to have to be overreaching it.
No.
Next up is the seat height, and this is one that a lot of people don't do. Unless it's obviously way too low or way too high, and most cars will have the pump action or the electronic lift up. You just want to make sure you've got a good view of the road, and that you're in this comfortable position. Now, some cars will also have the seat tilt, the cushion tilt mechanism. We'll talk about the back tilt in a second. If you're able to tilt the cushion as well, then that's really helpful, because then you can make sure that the back of your thighs and your bottom are both in contact.
Yeah.
If you're kind of up here, crunched up here, then you can end up getting pressure points, and over a period of time that can be quite uncomfortable as well.
Okay.
But if you don't have that, then you can get like a wedge or a pillow to sit, or a cushion to sit on. It's not ideal, but most of the time you'll be able to get yourself into a reasonable position with just tilting, lifting up the height of the seat there.
And what about the back support as well at the back?
Yeah, okay, the back support is an area that a lot of people, I find, certainly when I've spoken to clients in the past, either have it too high up or too reclined, like the really casual drivers.
Yeah.
And so it's normally just this one here on this Focus is just a twist dial there, so just twisting that will take it back, or twisting the other way will obviously bring it back up. You want to have about 100 to 110 degrees of angle there, and assuming you don't have a massive protractor to hand, then you're really looking at just getting the shoulders slightly behind where the hips are, just so you've got this natural neutral alignment, and you're not bolt upright, or as I said, too far back, because that's going to affect your control of the vehicle as well. So about 100 to 110. I'm just going to bring that up just down just a tiny bit more. And you also want to have that headrest, so that when your head's up, you're not really reaching back or being pushed forwards, and that's a safety thing more than anything. But you just want to have that support so that you don't feel like you're reaching up to there.
Yeah. So now you're comfortable in the seat, then is there an adjust on the steering wheel as well?
Yeah, you've got to consider that your arms and legs are going to be different lengths to other people's arms and legs, so you don't want to be having to reach. That steering wheel is now way too forward.
Yeah.
Because I'm 6'2", so I've had to rake that seat back quite a long way. But if I was here, my arms are completely straight, and that's going to eventually get tired, or I'll end up slouching over to here to give my arms and shoulders a bit of respite. So the easiest thing to do, all steering wheels will have this. There's just an adjustment around here somewhere, and we're just going to lock that down, and then bring it out and position it so you can see the controls in front of you. Yep. And you've got to tweak this and test it and fine tune it, just get that back in there. But you want to have it so that when your hands are on the 10 to 2, or even a little bit lower down than that, you've got this nice C shape going on through your arms, so you're not reaching out too far. And as a general rule of thumb, again, you should be able to place the palm of your hand, the edge of the palm of your hand there. In fact, that's probably still a little bit too far away from me, so I'm just going to bring it out a little bit more. No, I'm not, because that's as far as it goes. That'll have to do for me. To shrink a little bit, just going to bring that up and lock that in. Actually, no, that is better. That is a little bit better there. So you can see I'm here rather than just on the fingers. So then I'm in the correct driving position. The key thing, I think, with the back, some cars have a lumbar support as well. Again, a lot don't, and this one doesn't. and you can push out the middle section to make sure you have that lumbar support. But none of that means anything if you find yourself slouching down
exactly.
through here. So when your seatbelt is on, you really want to make sure that you're belted in and your bottom is right back up against it. So when you have your seatbelt on, you tighten it so that it's actually pulling you in to that position. And that's not going to let you slide forward. So you want to make sure that you're in nice and securely, and that's going to aid comfort as well as safety, obviously.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're sliding through here, the seatbelt isn't going to be as effective in a crash as it would be if you're in the correct seating position. And then the last thing to adjust once you're in position is the mirror. And actually, this is a really good one. I learned this tip a few years ago. If you get the mirror positioned so that you have to be in the perfect posture in order to look out, then if you do find yourself slouching, you look up, you can't see out the mirror. So it's a constant reminder to lift yourself up and to sit nice and tall in that driving position. So that's a helpful one as well.
Oh, clever. Well, you certainly look comfortable in the seat now. So if you are going on a long journey, are there any other sort of hints or tips that you've got to aid comfort while you're driving?
Not so much when you're driving, but you certainly want to be taking regular breaks. If you're on a long journey, say you're driving and it's going to be hours and hours, then at least every couple of hours you want to be stopping for a stretch. Stop a bit more frequently than that, just for a bit of a loosener, but a proper stretch. So I'll get out the car and I'll show you a couple of really easy stretches that you can do that don't have to make you look a bit of an oddball standing in the car park with your little chef stretching out. So just getting one foot slightly behind the other and drawing the tailbone under, so tucking under to stretch out the hip flexor as the front of the back leg, and just holding it there for a few seconds, then doing the same thing on the other side. Because when you're sitting down, you shorten and tighten those muscles. So then when you stand back up again, it actually pulls the pelvis out of alignment and it's going to put pressure through the back. So if you find yourself getting out and you're a bit stiff and tight, don't stretch out the hamstrings. Just a little bit of a loosener through the hip flexors will do wonders for how you feel and how your back feels. But they're also just allowing yourself to roll down and then open back up again, so you just get a bit of mobility back into the spine. You can do some side bends as well if you want to. But they're the two main ones that I'd recommend when you take a break.
Great stuff. That sounds good. So, thank you very much to George for that this morning. We hope you found that really useful, and hopefully you can use them when you're driving yourself. But thank you very much.